Hello, you are listening to the Off-Campus Convos podcast with Priscilla and me, Jessiah. So now that International Friendship Day is coming up, we want to talk about making friends in new environments. So if you're heading to a new chapter in your life, like for example, heading to high school, JC or poly, or even university, or even a new job, you may want to listen up. So obviously it's not mandatory to make friends in those environments. It's all up to you. But there are some positives to making friends.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously. Yes. So for example, you can have a solid friend group, to depend on, in those new environments. It feels like a less big of a jump,
They're your support system, yes.
Yeah, support system, exactly. And then 2, you can also get automatic group members.
Oh, true. You don't have to scramble around. Just find a group of 5. You're like, got you.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to be like that one person waiting for the teacher to be like, oh, okay, you can join that group.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you can also make connections for your future endeavors.
Yeah, you don't know when you will need them.
Exactly. Like, for example, networking, you can get people to know what you specialize in, and that can land you jobs in the future.
Yeah, word by mouth, right?
Yes, exactly. So, let's talk about how you can get friends.
Like you're catching Pokemon.
Yes, like you're catching Pokemons. Okay. For me, my advice would be to join clubs.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah, so you can get like-minded people, like-minded individuals. So it's easier to make connections that way because you already have a similar interest.
Yeah, that's your bond. That's your stepping stone, right?
Exactly. That's how you build on your relationships with other people. Yeah. What about you? What kind of advice would you have?
For me, I am a social media kind of girl. That means you'll see me post, you'll see me follow you, and that's how I make friends. Because I feel like if I like your feed, I will probably vibe with you really well. So I'll just click that follow button.
Oh my god,
and
so
if
cute.
you follow me back, I'll reply to your story.
Oh,
right. So now Instagram has made following and making friends so much easier because you post daily stories.
That's so true.
Right. And I see my friends post the mutual post a book, and I'm just like, oh my god, I read that too. And there we go.
Oh my god, I do that
too. Right.
Literally.
Yeah. So that's how I do it. Just go follow mutuals.
Yeah. I feel like when you put your life on display, when you put your life on display, it's easier to make friends that way because you can see the similar interests you have with other people, and it's easier to reach out.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Another thing I would say is to join school events, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So indulge in your school spirit.
Be part of the culture.
Exactly. You can exchange your Instagrams there, and then you can build from there.
Yes. Especially when it's just a one-day event.
Yeah.
I remember Temasek Poly having open house, so they were recruiting people for open house. So it's just a one-day event, but I remember I made so many friends from that.
Oh, that's so great.
Right.
Oh my god.
Yes, and they all serve together, and we're still following each other, and we still go out for lunch.
Oh my god. Amazing.
Yes.
That's so good. I kind of wanted to add on to the CCA thing the join clubs. Yes, joining clubs and interest groups. I feel like for me, I made a lot of my poly friends there. When I joined my CCA, TP Ambassadors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So in my CCA, we do photo shoots and video shoots, and during the waiting time and stuff like that, it's easy to make conversation with those people.
Oh, yeah. I think it's better because when you join clubs, right, your project isn't graded. So there
so
is
true.
no like
No stress.
Yeah, there's no stress of like you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this to get this
Yeah.
certain percentage for peer evaluation. No such thing, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're free to do anything you want.
It's just a good group of friends hanging out and doing what they like. Because if you join
exactly.
something, you definitely join something that you like.
Yeah,
You know
and
what
it's
I
like
mean?
free will, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not
Yes.
like obligated to do it.
100%. That's the best part.
Yes. So because you're already joining the same club,
Yeah.
you already have a mutual interest and you can build up on that
Yeah.
relationship.
So you don't have to like guess, you know, like, oh,
Yeah.
like, do you like this? Do you like that? You know, like,
Yeah, like
if
I already know you like this.
yeah, because if you join like TPA, like TP ambassadors, you know you like to be in front. You know you like to do projects. I'm like, oh, what kind of projects you like to do? So instead of it goes do you, it goes like what kind. So your question starts to lead on,
Yeah.
and then it builds on from there. You know, it's not a
Exactly.
yes or no kind of question. It's an open-ended question, and your relationship builds on from there.
Yes. It's so much easier that way.
100%.
Okay. Then this one is kind of like a stranger one, literally, which is you sit with a stranger at lunch or something, anywhere you want, and then you just say hi.
Yeah,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah. Literally.
it works.
Yeah.
It does really, because
Yeah.
I feel like everybody at the end of the day, most people more than not, they want to make friends.
Exactly.
There's
but a lot
nobody-
of them are really scared too.
Yeah, so it's not that I don't want to make friends, it's I don't know how to,
So true. So
right?
true.
So just put yourself out there. Just go
Exactly.
like, hi.
Step out of your comfort zone. Hello.
Yes, and I think the best part to and the best moment to intervene is when you see someone in need of help. That's the best part. Like when you see them
Yeah.
a bit lost, you go like, oh, do you need help? And
Yeah,
it goes
for
in from there.
directions or something.
Yeah, and then tell you, oh, I'm going to the dance studio. Oh, you dance? What dance do you do? And stuff like that. Then it goes on
yeah.
from there, right? And then you
Yes.
start to realize more.
So true, so true. Okay. So, with making friends, though, comes the fear of making friends. Like, how are you able to put yourself out there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any examples of that? Or
How I put myself
Yeah.
out there. Oh, that's hard because I'm outgoing by nature. So
Mm.
I'm very loud. And usually I'm more than happy to make friends. You get what I mean? I'm like,
yeah.
my Pokemon list is like full. Like my gachapons are like running out. You know what I mean?
yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but I think an advice on putting yourself out there is if you're afraid how you look, they most probably won't remember it. They're probably too flustered at how they look
that's
before they
so
can like
true.
register how you look, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, like go forward with your best foot.
Mm.
That's how I put it. Like don't go and say hi with the mindset, okay, my hair is messy. Hi. You know, don't go forward and be like, okay, I'm having a stomach ache, but my period cramps. Hi. Right. Just go for like, hi. How you doing? You know,
I'm
just
doing great.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So just go forward with your best foot and get your mental state there where you want it to be.
Yeah.
And visualize the best image of yourself and just go, because that's how they'll
Exactly.
visualize you. Manifestation.
Yes. How you present yourself will
Effect on others or rub
Yeah.
off. Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
They'll treat you how you treat yourself.
Oh yeah, definitely. That is so important.
Yeah. For me, like in year one, I was especially like scared to start making friends and making conversation. You know what I mean? I usually just like wait for people to come talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I think now that I have more experience, like for example, I joined a club, right? I think it's more in my comfort zone that way. Like I made it comfortable for myself by surrounding myself with people that already have the same interests as me. You know, it feels less daunting because it's like, oh, you get me.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Like we have that mutual ground, that common
Yeah.
ground where we meet, and then it builds
Exactly.
on from that. Is that how like you made most of your friends?
Yeah, it is. Oh my god. Okay, like for example, like in my course, right?
What
We're-
course are you in?
Oh, I'm in communications and media management.
Ah, okay.
Yes. So I do like mass media, content creation, that kind of stuff. So
That's
like,
interesting.
yeah. So most of the people there are already like creatives like me.
Oh.
Yeah. So we like bond over that, you know, and we also bond over like the experience of our projects and homework and stuff like that. Like, hey, how are you doing with this assignment? I kind of need help on this.
Same struggles, right?
Yeah, same struggle.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's easier that way because you can also like ask for help when you're struggling with assignments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you share the struggle.
Yeah. Then that's how you help. So like when you help, it gets better.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So part of it is also like, don't be afraid to ask for help. Just ask, and you never know, a friend might come out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like when I was starting out too, I felt a bit scared because I'm in law, right? So everybody is known to be very competitive. Yeah. But I was like very afraid to ask for help until like I was like, oh my God, I really have no idea what to do. I'm just going to go and like put my best foot forward and just ask. And I did. And I absolutely love my friend group. Like,
Yay!
they were all, like, it was a group project that I genuinely just like, let me just type in the group chat, let me just ask. So I asked the question unrelated to the group project. And they're just like, oh, like, it's actually like that. And then, and the best part is like, they were like, okay, you know what? Like, let's discuss it in our next group project. Although it's like not related.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think group projects are a super cute way of making friends also because you can just be like,
so true.
let's go have lunch after our group project.
Yeah.
So it's like you work hard and then you reward yourself afterwards. And so you feel like, yeah, I worked for this, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God. It's like making conversation out of like outside of schoolwork, you know?
Yeah.
So it's actually like a genuine connection with that person.
Yeah, be curious.
Yes.
Be
curious. Yeah.
Like a monkey. Like no, I'm genuinely like pry. Like be a bit nosy and pry.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
Some people, they're like wallpaper. You know, you just have to pull the whole thing apart. You can't be scared. Two different experiences. Because you were the introvert and I'm the extrovert.
Yes. Compliment each other. In my first year, I would call myself very introverted. Now I feel like I'm ambiverted.
Oh, that's like you adapt, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I adapt. It depends on who I'm with, I guess.
It comes out.
Yeah. So yeah, in my first year I was very introverted, I would say. So, like I said, I had to wait for people to like actually come to me, and I would be so adamant on not starting conversations and stuff like that. So something that I actually really admire about like my class chairperson in that year. Yeah, like he actually got together the whole class outside of class, I guess. Not like, because I entered during COVID times. Yes, so he got together all of us on a group call. It was optional, so like not the entire class came, but the ones who came were like really ons about school, you know? Ons about making friends and making connections.
The poly life, the college life.
Exactly. So like that kind of helped me make my group of friends today. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why like I would say any chance you get, you can just gather your entire class or like just a group of people, a select few, like the ones you vibe with, you know, like there's nothing wrong with that. Like if they want to go, they will go and they will vibe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those who want to be there will be there.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I think for me, because like I'm in chokball, right? So we do sports. It's a sports CCA, right? Yeah, it's a sports CCA. So our trainings are pretty tough, like I would say, like especially for those people who haven't been doing sports lately or first start out sports. So we train really hard, and at the end of the day, it's like super unrewarding if you just go home after that. So I remember this one time when like everybody was like just so tired and they were just like so drained. Because I'm like outgoing, right? So like I would just like be like, hey, you want to go dinner? Opposite school. Because like there's like options opposite school, right? There's like mala, there's like zicha, there's like the Indian Muslim food, there's Max. It's like, you want to go dinner? Go dinner lah, opposite school. Then like they were like, one by one they start saying yes. I mean, some of them obviously need a bit more like pushing, like, like, oh, let's go lah, like it won't take much time or so, and you get to know the rest of us. And like the group went from like 5 to like 10. Now we're at a group of 10 to 12. Because people started saying yes a bit more. And I think that's the best part, because like it makes such a big difference in sports, because when you hang out more, you realize that you have more chemistry and you can play better on court.
That's so true.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think when I did that, I kind of like initiated it and I became like the glue. You know what I mean?
God,
I mean, everybody plays their own part now, but I was the part that was just like, do you want to come? Like, just come. Just come and join us. Yeah. And I think it's very important to like not be cliquey.
That's so true.
Right, because some people just like, we're together. You can join someone else. Like, don't like always open your invitations. Always let it be an open call. Like, just come, and always encourage people to come. Right. Yeah. I think that's important. Now my Chopper friends are one of my closest group of friends. And they're so happy to meet now. Like we initiate stuff like together. We like go and run together. We'll have dinner together during holidays. Yes, so we are planning a trip to JB. During semester break. So yeah, that's how like important friendships are. You know, like just go and attend things. You don't know how far this is gonna bring you. If it doesn't bring you that far, it's fine. At least it value added one way or another. If it brings you all the way, even better. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Exactly. That's why you shouldn't be afraid to initiate. You shouldn't be afraid to join.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's okay if like you don't want to talk much. It's okay. People are more or less, they get you and they understand you. Like they will accept you. They won't be like, oh, she doesn't even talk. What's the point in bringing her here? No. People are not like that. People will just like, okay, it's okay. She might just need some more time to warm up. And you'll start to see like those people who are a bit more they're a bit more sensitive to social cues. You can see them texting you privately. You can see them reaching out like oh, like how's your day? And that's them trying. So when people try, also like reach out your hand. You get what I mean? Like, don't always let it be a one-way kind of thing, because people can get tired of trying.
Exactly.
You know, so just reach out your hand and just grab it and just go for it. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I got it. You know what? You can actually go to like, you know those community events? Like, for example, recently in my neighborhood, they had like a racial harmony day.
Oh, like CC events.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can find friends in your community as well by going to those events. Yeah.
Especially because it's around your area, like CC community centers. Like if you live in Pasir Ris, then like there's a lot of like there's Pasir Ris East CC, Pasir Ris West CC.
Yeah.
So you'll be finding a lot of people within your own neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a lot of different people there.
Yeah, because Singapore is so multiracial. I don't know if you know this fun fact that if you live in HDB, there's something called HDB quota. So for example, like there should be like a certain level of Chinese ethnicity people living in one level, or a certain block, Malay in a city, Indian in a city, others as well. So if you go for these CC events, you're more than likely to meet a few different people of different ethnicities, backgrounds, etc., and cultural differences as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's the best part about Singapore. How exactly do you phrase your questions? Because I hate it when people, like, I hope this is not going to be at the end, but I hate it when people ask me, oh, do you like this? I'm like, yeah, I like it.
Oh my god.
like you know what I mean?
Close-ended.
Yeah, like a close-ended question, and there's no leading question, and I'm like, am I supposed to lead it on myself? Then the conversation is about me. You know, that's not very nice. So ask open-ended questions. You get what I mean? So they can share your opinion, and if they're interested, they're most likely to ping-pong it back to you. You know what I mean, right?
Yes.
And always ask, what's your opinion? What's your take on? Like I asked you just now, what's your take on that? Yeah. You know what I mean? So you can see where they stand, their mental ground, and it's very important. You can gauge their morals, their mindset as well from there. Yeah. Because I am blaming the person who is asking the question. Does the person who is answering have fault in not bringing up a leading question? or not
Oh,
opening
okay.
another gateway?
Oh my god. Actually, a little bit, in my opinion. Because, like, I was also... I mean, I don't tend to ask close-ended questions, but I'm, like, trying to get to know the individual, you know? Like, surprisingly, I met someone who is more introverted than me. And then I was, like, asking him, oh, do you like movies? And then he was like, yeah. And then silence.
Right, because
Yeah.
if you analyze
Yeah.
the issue...
Yeah, but then, like, after the silence, I was like, oh, okay, what type of movies do you like?
A leading question.
Yeah, leading question. And then he was like, Marvel.
He was like, like...
Yeah. He was not vibing. So I was like, okay, you know what? I've watched Marvel too. And he was like, okay.
Oh,
You know? So it's like, it's not always the person who's asking at fault.
yeah.
Sometimes it's just like the person who's answering and they're like not vibing with you.
But that's okay too. Like,
Yeah.
there are hits and then there are misses. Not everybody
That's
that you
true.
reach out to is supposed to be your friend.
Yeah, that's true.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think one way that it's a trick that I use to make friends is I always make assumptions out loud. So, for example, if you tell me that, oh, like, my family is actually a bit more mixed, then I'll be like, oh, so you speak different languages? And like, I'll make an assumption out loud. And if you say like, yeah, and then you'll feel more like happy to tell me more about it because I got it right. But if you say like, oh no, I only speak this language, I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool still. Like, oh, so how does that lead on? You know, it's okay to make assumptions out loud. And from then on, they'll guide you. And because once you give them the power to say, it's a power play, like, really. Once you give them the power to guide you yes or no, they feel more engaged in the conversation.
Oh my god, that's actually really good advice. Wow.
Yeah, so it's a power play. You give them the power to say yes or no, and then they'll correct you from there. They'll feel more like they are driving the conversation a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's very important because some people their esteem is a bit lower lah, so they don't really speak up a lot. So when you give them a situation that forces them out of their shell to be like yes or like be like no, that's when they feel more engaged. And then most likely or not, when it comes to that, the sentences ends and then you will hear a but that goes on after that. They go like, oh,
That's
but
true.
yeah, my sister does this and does that. Oh, but I actually tried this and tried that. Then you will see it going on. Yeah, because they feel more empowered in the conversation.
So I wanted to bring up that sometimes there's like stigmas.
Oh.
Yeah, that like kind of discourage you from talking to people of different backgrounds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but we should normalize like clarification.
100%.
Yeah, because that opens up the conversation.
Yes.
You know, and like it helps make friends too. Would you agree? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Because I feel like Singapore is just like a hot pot. Like it's a hot pot of different races, different people, different backgrounds, and there's so many like connotations and stigmas about different cultures. You know, like, and sometimes we don't understand things, and instead of assuming and just like hearsay, we want to like ask.
Yeah.
You want to, oh, by the way, I'm just clarifying. Like, you know the thing that like you put on your face, like. You know, what is that about? Like, is it like racial? Is it like cultural? Is it like medical? Like, what is it about? And be
Yeah.
genuinely curious about it. Like,
Exactly.
don't judge. Don't put a front where you already have a preconceived idea. Just go in there to be accepting and to learn.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's better because you hear it from the source itself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Than some like written article or then some like hearsay of a friend. Oh, you know, this kind of people, they do this and they do that. It's just like, I'm telling you, no, I did this. This is what my cultural people do. This is what, you know, people back home do and stuff like that.
Yeah. It helps out with like the misinformation on the internet and stuff like that.
100%.
Yeah. And it helps you correct yourself if you had preconceived notions.
Yeah, and especially because you're in Singapore. We are in Singapore. I mean, everywhere around the world now, everybody is so interracially connected. You find so many mixed people going around. Like I myself am mixed, right?
Yeah.
So I think the last thing you want to do is spread false cultural
Exactly.
ideas. You want to be ahead of that. You want to be proactive. You want to be able to spread accurate to the best kind of information of people around the world ever, so that you don't offend anybody.
Exactly.
Right. And
Yeah.
the person feels loved too. Like you're wanting to know about my
Like,
culture.
appreciated.
You
Oh
know?
my gosh.
Yeah. Because some things like especially in like the Philippines or like in Myanmar or like those kind of countries where there's a lot of villages, Indonesia as well, there's different cultural things that goes on in that kind of village, like the way they speak, the dialects, the food they eat.
Yeah.
It's all very different. So just be a bit more curious. Oh, which part are you from? Oh, so how is life there? Is there any differences from the main part of the city that you know? You know, yeah, go ahead and be curious.
So now that we've talked about how to make friends, let's wrap it up with 5 tips on how to make friends.
Amazing.
Yes.
Okay.
So number 5, join clubs, join interest groups.
Yes.
Yes.
Find a common ground. Go for it.
Exactly.
Leverage on
Yes.
that and then build it on.
Yes. And number 4,
Be yourself. Be truthful, be raw, be the best version of yourself, and come from a place of humility. You know? Be humble when you step your best foot forward.
so true, so true.
Number 3.
Join community events. Yes.
Like aside from school, right?
Yeah.
Like join your neighborhood community events.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
You have to put yourself out there to your neighborhood.
Definitely.
Yeah, so you can get to know the people that surround you every day.
Yeah.
And number 2.
5, 4, 3,
3,
2. Okay. Number 2, I think my best advice is to be the first to just say hi. Like just put yourself out there and be like, hi, how you doing? Or do you need any help?
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
Yes.
Ask the right questions.
Yes.
Okay. You're off to our number 1 tip. Ooh. Our number 1 tip.
Make assumptions out loud. I feel like that's like my one takeaway from this.
Really?
To be honest.
You mean your biggest takeaway, not
Yeah.
your one
No,
takeaway?
Not one, sorry. Okay, let me redo that.
Number 1 tip.
I forgot to read
Make
that.
assumptions out loud.
Oh my god, sorry. Let's do it. I feel like that's my biggest takeaway from this entire podcast.
Amazing.
Yes.
Why?
Mostly because like for me, usually like I don't think I'm thinking much about the questions I'm asking people, you know, during conversations. Yeah, so like I feel like making assumptions out loud, like you said, it's easier to make the conversation and make them more engaged.
Yes.
Yes, that's
the
why.
best part.
Yes.
Alrighty, you've heard it from us first. Our 5 best tips for you to be out there, for you to shine and make more friends.
Yes. Okay, so this has been Priscilla and me, Jessiah. God. I'm so yeah, I have to look.
I don't want to fall like that.
Sorry. Off campus combos. I'm so sorry. Okay. Yes. So this has been Priscilla and me, Jessiah, on off campus convos.
Convos.
I'm so sorry. You have a lot cut out.